Hola y buenos días. Yo soy el señor Morris, el maestro de español. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Today, we'll go over all of the material that we've covered in this unit in preparation for the evaluation that I'll be giving next class. We'll look at the answers to the question, ¿Dónde vives? And the cardinal and intermediate directions, as well as the names of the planets and their order. Then, if we have time, we'll play some loteria to go over everything again. But as always, let's get started with our opening song. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien cantado. Now, as I said, we started off this unit by looking at some answers to the question, ¿Dónde vives? Well, let's look at those answers again right now. Okay, if I ask you, ¿Dónde vives? And this was the place that you lived, how would you answer? You'd say, vivo en el campo. Right. How about if I ask you, ¿Dónde vive tu abuelo? You'd say, vive en un pueblo. Right? Remember the verb and remember to look at the place. ¿Dónde vive tu prima? Okay, remember, verb, place. How are you going to answer? Vive en una ciudad. Very good. How about if I ask you, ¿Dónde vives? Look at the verb, vives. What are you going to say? Vivo en un apartamento. ¿Dónde vive tu tío? If he lived here, you would say what? Vive en una casa. Vive en una casa. What if I ask you, ¿Dónde vive tu abuela? And this was where she lived. How would you answer? Vive en el estado de Arizona. Well, while I get ready to go over the cardinal and intermediate directions, I'd like for you to review once more with this video. Ahora, pongan atención y repitan todos. ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en un pueblo. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en una ciudad.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el campo.
¿Dónde vives? Vivo en un apartamento. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en una casa.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en los Estados Unidos de América. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el estado de Arizona. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el estado de Florida. ¿Dónde vive Miguel?
Miguel vive en el estado de California. ¿Dónde vive María?
María vive en el estado de Michigan. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el planeta. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el sistema solar.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en la Vía Láctea. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el espacio. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el universo. Muy bien. Now the next thing that we looked at was so easy that I want to cover quickly so that we have plenty of time to play lotería. Son los puntos cardinales e intermedios. Okay? Here we go with los puntos cardinales, the cardinal points. Remember, these were a lot like the English, so that makes them pretty easy. We started off by talking about this one up here, which is norte, and that's north. So you can see the similarity. That makes it pretty easy. Now, if we look at the opposite of north, if we go down here, we have sur, sur. That's around Texas, and that's the direction of Mexico, right? If we look over towards the states of Florida and Maine and New York, we'll find este, or the east. Again, those are very similar. It makes it pretty easy. And if we come out here and look towards California, Arizona, Utah, we will get the oeste. Oeste. These are the cardinal points, los puntos cardinales. Well, to get the intermediate directions, we just combined the cardinal directions like we did in English, right? Estos son los puntos intermedios. Los puntos intermedios, and that means in between. Well, let's go ahead and start off with our cardinal directions. So we have norte, sur, este, and oeste. Okay? Yeah. And now we look in between them. So if we were going to look over here and we were going to look in between norte and este, what would we get? Noreste. Yeah. How about if we look in between sur and este? We get sureste. Now, if we're looking over here between sur and oeste, we're going to get suroeste. And the last one, this is pretty easy, isn't it? The last one, entre norte y oeste, we have noroeste. Those are all pretty easy, but let's go ahead and review los puntos cardinales e intermedios again with this video. Pongan atención y repitan todos. Los puntos cardinales e intermedios. Norte, sur, este, oeste, noreste, sureste, suroeste, noroeste. Now, the last things that we've been discussing in this unit were the names of the planets in Spanish and their ordinal numbers, the order that they come in. Let's go ahead and review those quickly now. You remember that Mercurio es el primer planeta. El primer planeta, and primer means first. When it's an adjective, if it doesn't have a noun after it, you call it primero, right? So Mercurio es el primer planeta. What's the second one? Venus es el segundo planeta. Venus es el segundo planeta. How about after that? What do we have? This is the one where we live, right? Right here? La Tierra es el tercer planeta. La Tierra es el tercer planeta. There you go. That's where we live. Good old Earth. Estás aquí. Here you are. How about this next one? Comes after La Tierra. Okay? Do you remember? Marte. Marte es el cuarto planeta. Marte es el cuarto planeta. We said all of these were pretty close. Then we have the asteroides, the asteroids. And what is this big planet here, the biggest one? Júpiter. Júpiter es el quinto planeta. Júpiter es el quinto planeta, right? And after that, we've got this planet that has the big rings around it that are pretty outstanding from what I've seen on the pictures. What planet is that? Saturno. Saturno es el sexto planeta. Es el sexto planeta, right? Yeah. Now after that, we've got this planet that actually has a ring around it, but we can't see it because the ring is turned funny to Earth, but it's there. And this one is called what? Urano. Urano es el séptimo planeta. El séptimo planeta. And after that, we have this one. Yeah, it's named after the guy that lives in the sea there. Do you remember that one? What is this called? Neptuno. Neptuno es el octavo planeta. Octavo, and that comes from ocho. It's the eighth planet. And then finally, way out here, this little white one, you see it? Yeah? Okay. Do you know what that one's called? Okay. Plutón. Plutón es el noveno planeta. Please review the planets again with this video while I get ready to play Lotería. Pongan atención y repitan todos. Los planetas. Mercurio es el primer planeta. Venus es el segundo planeta. La Tierra es el tercer planeta. Marte es el cuarto planeta. Júpiter es el quinto planeta. Saturno es el sexto planeta. Urano es el séptimo planeta. Neptuno es el octavo planeta. Plutón es el noveno planeta. Muy bien. Y ahora vamos a repasar con... Where's that come from? Lotería. Now, lotería, you remember, is a lot like our game, bingo. But when you win, you don't say bingo. You say lotería. You should all have game boards that look like this. Okay? Here's your lotería boards. You'll want to get 3 across, horizontalmente, up and down, verticalmente, or across, diagonalmente. Okay? So let's go ahead and start off. Everybody get your boards. I'm going to choose a board here in just a second. But go ahead and start marking yours. If you have primero, if you have primero on your board, go ahead and cover it up now. You can use a marker or a bean or whatever you have in your classrooms to use, even little pieces of paper. If you have Mercurio, Mercurio, that old planet there, Mercurio, if you have that, go ahead and cover it. If you have Noreste, if you have Noreste on your game board, go ahead and cover it now. Okay? How about this? Estrella. If you have Estrella on your game board, go ahead and cover it now. Remember, that was what we talked about being up in the sky, right? Estrella. Tercero. If you have tercero on your game board, go ahead and cover it now. Remember, that's third when we were talking about the order of the planets. Júpiter. Júpiter. And you can see that big red spot on it. If you have Júpiter on your game board, go ahead and cover it now. La Tierra. La Tierra. Ah, home sweet home. If you have this on your game board, go ahead and cover it now, please. And suroeste. That's another one of those intermediate directions that we talked about. It's in between sur and oeste. If you have suroeste on your game board, go ahead and mark it now. Hey! Woohoo! Loteria! All right. Well, I think we have enough time. If you guys want to play again, you can either change your boards or keep the same boards and go ahead and get switched around, get all situated. If you need to put me on hold, put me on hold, and let's go ahead and get started. If you have La Ciudad, if you have La Ciudad on your game board, go ahead and mark it now. La Ciudad. Estado. If you have Estado on your board, go ahead and mark it now. How about planeta? Planeta. This is just kind of the generic term, right, for a planet. Planeta. How about segundo? Segundo. If you have segundo on yours, go ahead and mark it now, please. Sur. If you have sur on yours, go ahead and mark it. How about cuarto? If you have cuarto on yours, go ahead and mark it now. Sureste. If you have sureste on your game board, go ahead and mark it now. Tercero. Tercero. Third. If you have that on your game board, go ahead and mark it now. If you have Saturno, Saturno, go ahead and mark that. How about La Tierra? If you have La Tierra on your game board, go ahead and mark it now. La Tierra! Hey, check it out! Loteria! Well, I must be one of the luckiest teachers around. Y'all should keep practicing because the next lesson will be the evaluation lesson. It's a chance for us to see how the Spanish lessons are doing. I'm sure that you're all going to do fine. Teachers, let me remind you that our next lesson will be the evaluation for Unit 8. If you want your students to participate, you'll probably want to copy the test from the teacher's guide. Students, if you understood what we went over today and you get a chance to practice before the evaluation, I'm sure you'll all do fine. Saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. For a goodbye song today, I'd like to sing La Bamba. And since I'd like to, I'm going to. It's pretty much the way it works here. Canten conmigo. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba, se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia para ti, para mí, ahí arriba, ahí arriba. Ahí arriba, ahí arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, 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 bamba. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, bamba. Do it again now. Bamba, bamba. A little softer. Bamba, bamba. A little bit softer. Bamba, bamba. A little bit louder. Bamba, bamba. Real loud now. Bamba, bamba. Until next class. Adiós y hasta luego.